Hello racing fans, this is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015 and another NASCAR season is in the books. And the NASCAR Award Show was on NBC 2 weeks ago and oh boy, that was bad. It was basically a NASCAR America extended show where we kiss up to every single driver that made the playoffs. Oh, Kurt Busch, he won the Daytona 500. Let's kiss up to him like he had the best season of his career. What did he do the rest of the season? Oh yeah, nothing. Completely fell off a cliff and didn't do anything the rest of the season. That was the whole episode. And by the way, Chris Devoda, she is too boring to be funny. And Rutledge Wood just is not funny. Do they ever get past this thing? The only thing I laughed at that episode was the Ryan Blaney emoji when his hair grew out. After that was the most boring garbage show I've ever watched in my life. It's gotten worse and worse that they don't even have a host. So with that in mind, I decided to make a good award show. I'm not going to kiss up to Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin for not doing anything this season. I'm not going to kiss up to Chase Elliott. I mean, he didn't even win a race. I'm not going to kiss up to him. So certainly this will be a fun episode. This will be the true award show of the season. And I'm going to make every single person at NBC jealous of this award show. And so we start out with biggest underachiever of the year. And this award easily goes to Jimmie Johnson. He completely threw away this whole season besides 3 wins. It was a hit or miss season for the 48. Somehow he lucked his way into making it into the round of 8. But did nothing. Just think, if he would have won Phoenix and Homestead, he would have won his 8th championship. And you look at the rest of his season, it wasn't that good. But unlike any other driver, Jimmie Johnson can afford to throw away a season like this. He could sandbag the next 5 seasons and still he would have his ride. If you look at a guy like Matt Kenseth, you have 1 subpar year, nope, you're out, Eric Jones is in. So Jimmie Johnson, he'll probably make this list even more, but I'm still betting on him breaking the Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt and getting his 8th title. So no need to worry, 48 fans. Biggest overachiever of the year, hands down, Ryan Blaney. Who would have thought Ryan Blaney would have made it all the way to the round of 8? He did so good this season. Won a race, made the playoffs, made the round of 8. Who knows, if he would have been more consistent at Martinsville and Texas, gotten more stage points, he could have went all the way to Homestead with a chance to win the championship with the Wood brothers. And honestly, I think that's good. He won a race before Chase Elliott. That's also a plus. So Ryan Blaney, there's no other driver even close. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for making the round of 12. But after that, Ryan Blaney hands down wins this award. And hopefully there's better stuff from him in the 12 car next year. And then after that, we have best race of the year. And probably for me, I would have to say with all the circumstances that happened, I think the second Phoenix race was race of the year. Hamlin dominates the whole first part. And then after that, we see Chase Elliott and Hamlin in that final get together. And then obviously we saw a classic finish. We saw Matt Kenseth win possibly his final race and show Joe Gibbs that he can still win and be competitive in the 20 car. So absolutely that's race of the year. If I had to pick a next favorite, it would be the second Martinsville race. Had somebody other than Kyle Busch or Martin Truex Jr. won that race, it would have been good. Also, the plate races, the Daytona 500 was a really good race. I would recommend that one. And, a couple other races also. Worst race of the year. And there are a couple of nominees for this one, but hands down for me, the worst one was the Chicagoland race this year. Oh my gosh, that was bad. It was a Martin Truex Jr. kiss-up race where, he got the lead with 30, 40 laps to go, and the race went green the rest of the way. And basically the last couple laps, Martin Truex Jr. is looking good. Hey, Chase Elliott, good points day. Hey, Kevin Harvick, good points day. It was just, shut up about the good points days. I want to see some actual racing and actual drama heading into this. And I don't want NASCAR to get into it and throw the caution, but there wasn't even a threat for the lead. Like we saw in 2016 where Martin Truex Jr. was hunting down Chase Elliott before that caution. We couldn't have at least had something like that. It was a Martin Truex Jr. runaway. That's the closest thing you're gonna get to an IndyCar race in NASCAR. It was a race where they're just counting down the laps and the no positions change and there's no battle for the lead. By far worst race of the year. Biggest one-off moment of 2017. There were just so many choices to pick from. We have Austin Dillon winning off at the 600, Ryan Newman at Phoenix, and then we had Casey Kane at the Brickyard 400. But by far, mainly just because this guy had a very mediocre season. Kurt Busch at the Daytona 500. How about starting off the year, winning the biggest race of the season, and then doing nothing the rest of the season? That was Kurt Busch this season. He didn't do anything worthy. He disappeared under rock the minute he won the Daytona 500, got eliminated in the round of 16 to a bunch of weak cars like Ricky Stenhouse and Jamie McMurray, and yeah, that's not very good. And Stewart-Haas Racing and Ford didn't do very good this year. Only won 3 races. That's way less than previous. So by far, Kurt Busch, biggest one-off moment of the year. Biggest disimprovement from 2016-2017. Hands down, Joey Logano. Okay, so let me get this straight. How do you go from being one spot away from winning the championship to not even making the playoffs the next year? Yeah, it was just a bad, dismal year for Joey Logano. You look at it, the encumbered win at Richmond, just inconsistencies across the board, lots of bad luck, Team Penske falling off a cliff. And obviously in these situations, you just tell yourself, well, life's a beach. And then you drive. But the thing for Joey Logano is this team is expected to win championships. They are expected to run up front. And this was just a totally bad year for Joey Logano. They could just never get past that mentality. They couldn't drive. They were stuck in neutral the whole time. And they just could never build on any momentum. And that's why Joey Logano is the biggest downgrade from 2016 to 2017. I really hope he can come back. I like Joey Logano. Some of this stuff was a little too much on why people hate him. So, but Ford, like I said, they have no hope for next year. I think Logano will win a race, and I think he'll make it to the round of 8. But really, this season was just a disappointment. Biggest improvement from 2016 to 2017. I would give this award to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Roush Fenway is still flawed, but if you look at it, he made it all the way to the round of 12. And, he didn't have a bad playoffs. Roush Fenway Racing is still far off from where they're supposed to be, but at least there was some bright spots, obviously, for him. Having speed, winning 2 races, and I want it to get better for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I don't know if they're going to keep it up, but they certainly deserve this award. And next up, we have Worst Team of the Year. Obviously, this goes to BK Racing. There are so many choices for this award, but this is the first year for this award. So BK Racing, hands down, the inexperience of Gray Gaulding and Corey LaJoie makes them the worst team of the year. They're just going around in circles over and over and over. An honorable mention would probably be Circle Sport and the Motorsports Group for completely screwing Jeffrey Earnhardt out of his ride for next year, but that'll be for another video. And anyways, next up, we have Worst Driver. And this driver is going out in style, or I don't know. She's going out with an award. Danica Patrick is the worst driver of the year. Why? This was probably her worst year in NASCAR competition. I could have easily picked Gray Gaulding or Corey LaJoie, but Danica Patrick gets her last year. It was her worst career year, and she's driving in top-tier equipment. 11 DNFs, 25 times. Only 25 out of the 36 races. What a joke. I am so glad she's leaving the sport. And I hope for Daytona for her is either if she crashes or if she doesn't even get a ride. I'd like to see, that would be a proper send-off for Danica Patrick. And now we're on to Choker of the Year. And there are so many options I could have picked for this award. Denny Hamlin for choking up another championship run by getting into it with Chase Elliott. Jamie McMurray blowing a 30-point lead. He went from +1 to -29, and there goes his chances. They're over like that. The 20 pit crew for completely screwing Matt Kenseth's last season. They could have easily beat Jimmy Johnson, but the stupidity just really costed him. But hands down, this award this season goes to Chase Elliott. Oh my gosh, how many times is this guy going to choke up? So let me get this straight. You have the Daytona 500. He is literally 3 laps away from winning, and then he runs out of fuel. But that wasn't so bad. And then obviously you have Michigan too, where he spins the tires. He spun those tires so hard, and he didn't even get any run. 4th place normally can capitalize, and Kyle Larson did it the restart after, and he easily flew by him and got another win at Michigan. Oh yeah, Dover too. He had that win in the bag. Any driver probably could have done that, but nope. He decides to run behind Ryan Newman, and Kyle Busch easily passes him for the win. And for those saying, oh, Ryan Newman should have moved out of the way. Well, life's a beach, and then you drive. Ryan Newman was trying to race for his life, and just because Chase Elliott is some prodigy doesn't mean Ryan Newman should just move over. And I hate Ryan Newman. I want him out of the sport so badly. But even he wasn't wrong in this situation. So Kyle Busch takes him to school, and once again, Rowdy does it, and we keep hating, but, we should be hating on Choke Elliott. And then we obviously, Charlotte, another 2nd place. He had that one. He wasn't going to improve that much. And then obviously, how about Martinsville getting dumped by Denny Hamlin? Yeah, that was wonderful. That wasn't his fault either, but whatever. Talladega, he went a little bit too aggressive on Daniel Suarez, and both of them end up in the wall. I was not surprised that he crashed in this. I knew it was going to happen. And then Phoenix, how about gaining the lead with 20 laps to go and then completely choke up by completely throwing away your tires, and then Matt Kenseth easily comes by and passes him. Yeah, a guy who's about ready to go to the old folks' home and driving a school bus beat you. That's sad right there. Chase Elliott wasted so many shots. Let's see who won this year. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney. They all got their first wins. Who didn't get their first win? Oh yeah, Choke Elliott. He didn't even win the showdown. He lost to Daniel Suarez. And he didn't do anything this season besides run 15th. Yeah, he lost to Suarez. And honestly, Chase Elliott has to win a race. If he doesn't, it's time to start questioning whether he deserves that ride at Hendrick, because how many times he's blown this. Kyle Larson, you could sure say he didn't win until his 3rd year, when Kyle Larson barely had any shots to win. Chase Elliott's already had like 10, and he's blown all 10 of them. It took me this long to see it. I kept kissing up to Chase Elliott because I was a fan. But now I've realized his stats lately, and yeah, he'd better win a race, or otherwise it's time to start questioning him. And next up, we have Idiot Move of the Year, or Bonehead Move of the Year. Obviously, this goes to Denny Hamlin at Martinsville. Who else could have won this award? We had Jamie McMurray at Daytona driving like a total moron. I'm telling you, he looked like he was in a traffic jam, and he just put foot on the throttle, started wrecking people, especially the Hendrick cars. Eric Jones, he was your average drunk driver, road rage. He completely got loose and spun out in the entire field. Oh yeah, great driving by the rookie. Totally deserves that 20 car. And then Danica Patrick, that was her whole career, was just crashing and doing idiot moves. So she definitely deserved it. So let me get this straight. Denny Hamlin, who's won at Martinsville, he's won many grandfather clocks, completely lifts Chase Elliott's tires off the ground heading into turn 3 and completely dumps him. What an absolute joke by one of the quote-unquote better drivers in the series. This is something a rookie would do. If Greg Gaulding or Corey LaJoie would have done it, I would have said, it's a rookie move. Wouldn't have liked it, but hey, it's a rookie move. They could learn. Denny Hamlin has been in the Cup level for 12 years, and for him to completely do this is absolutely insulting. And Denny Hamlin's driving ability should easily be questioned. Oh, but Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott, he completely ran him up the track. And I may look like I seem like I'm kissing up to Chase Elliott, but, you know, a little bumping and banging and fender benders is totally fine. It's classic Martinsville racing. It's not like Keselowski got wrecked. Chase Elliott got completely dumped. This is like a big crash on a major highway. It basically killed Chase Elliott's playoff implications. And Denny Hamlin said, oh yeah, it's the heat of the moment. And then, meanwhile, 2 laps later, Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., they completely race each other cleanly, and they don't dump each other or wreck each other. Yeah, and it's absolutely getting desperate for Denny Hamlin for choking up another championship. Now he's saying his career is successful because more than likely he will not win a championship anytime soon. This is just going to keep happening for Denny Hamlin eventually until a rookie comes up and takes his place. FedEx, come on, please do something. Get rid of Denny Hamlin. He is not a good driver. Matt Kenseth's way better, and it is absolutely shameful to see Denny Hamlin still have his ride at Joe Gibbs Racing. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin. This probably won't be the only time you get an award. Next year, you'll probably get Choker of the Year. And so now we have Best Sponsor of the Year. Now, I was obviously thinking about Exalta since the paint scheme with Dale Jr. and obviously, William Byron and Alex Bowman in 2018. But this award is definitely going to Credit One Bank. Just think about it. Credit One Bank has expanded so much in NASCAR. It's just like the city of Las Vegas. You see it now with the Vegas Golden Knights. And you obviously see the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, NASCAR, now has 2 races. And then you see with the Las Vegas Raiders, they're going to be moving there soon. And Credit One Bank has expanded so much into NASCAR, it is absolutely booming, and it has so much potential just like that city. Let's take 2016, for example. They have the One Lap to Go sponsored by Credit One Bank. Sure, it may be annoying, and, everyone absolutely loves this slogan, but it's good to see them putting money into the funding and the broadcasting as well. And then obviously they sponsored Jamie McMurray. Sure, he didn't have the best results in that car, but it was still, a stepping ladder, and they're expanding. Hey, we're a big foothold in Ganassi. And then in 2017, it got mixed results. Kyle Larson never won in the Credit One Bank car, and he had that incident at Kansas, but obviously you have to just look at the performance of that team. 4 races. And all the success he had without the season. He was up front a lot. And it is absolutely good to see Credit One Bank see this in Kyle Larson. And obviously they will be the primary sponsor for the team in 2018. I really hope they can win a championship because they have shown with their funding that they are a top-tier NASCAR sponsor. And they deserve the spotlight for this award. So that's why the Sponsor of the Year goes to Credit One Bank. And now it's time to flip that and flip the whole mood of this video. Worst Sponsor of the Year. And there were so many options we could have picked for this. Nature's Bakery, completely screwing Danica Patrick. Sure, it ended her career, but at the same time, that's more money out of NASCAR. We could have had, Clint Boyer could have had Nature's Bakery. Oh yeah, we had Subway sponsoring Daniel Suarez. And just because of a Dunkin' Donuts video, we're gonna leave. And that's why I've been eating at Jimmy John's. I've been eating at Jimmy John's longer than that. And I will probably never step foot in a Subway because of that, because they're an absolute joke. Oh yeah, and then we also have great clips. How about putting all your money towards NASCAR and moving it to Monster Jam? Just think about it, Monster Jam. Monster Jam is absolutely ridiculous. And name a network that it gets put on. And it's never on Fox or NBC or anything special. Yeah, they see more trusting in that than NASCAR. Absolutely sad. But hands down, this award goes to Target. There was no other options for this award. How about winning 4 races the entire season, seeing your popularity, seeing your interest in this car, and seeing your profits to $111 million. That's how much the sponsorship is valued. But Brian Cornell cares more about millennial soccer and his millennial stuff and completely decides to screw up Kyle Larson and also decides to get rid of the IndyCar program too. Two successful sponsorship fundings, and he completely decides to get rid of them. There is no loyalty whatsoever with Brian Cornell, and obviously Target deserves this award for being the worst sponsor. And I could go on and on about how bad they are, but I've done this 10,000 times. Target, you deserve it. And now, with that said, now we have Moron of the Year. This is just any person in NASCAR that made me really mad this season. So there's a couple options for this. Obviously, we have Jeff Burton at NBC. You know, his terrible lines, which I'll get to in the next part of the video, just absolutely were sickening to listen to. Rick Allen for just being generic and making it just like an IndyCar race. And then obviously we have Brian France, everyone's favorite CEO, and people are going to be really mad at me for not making him win this award. But guess what? This award will be here for years to come. I guarantee you Brian France is going to win this award a couple times. But hands down, this award, the Moron of the Year, goes to Brian Cornell, the CEO of Target. So obviously Target, they build up for years their motorsports program. And they've stuck with drivers like Casey Mears and Jimmy Spencer and drivers like that never even got anywhere. But they finally get their driver of the future in Kyle Larson. And Brian Cornell becomes CEO of Target and decides, no, that's not good enough, let's leave. When they win them 4 races. You have so much potential with Kyle Larson. I would have been fine if it was a sponsorship production, but nope, we just got to get rid of it. And not only is that insulting, but he completely ruined the store of Target. Something I used to love and admire. I liked Target because they were way better than Walmart, is now a dumpster fire. It is an absolute garbage heap. You have garbage like Starbucks, the garbage walls at Target. It just looks like an absolute train wreck, and that's why I'm never going to buy anything at Target until they fix this. So Brian Cornell, congratulations. You win this award for Moron of the Year. Most deserved. And don't worry, Brian France, you're not off the hook. You are probably going to get this award next year for something stupid. And now it is time for the quote of the year. And hands down, the quote of the year is, I'm not surprised by anything. Congratulations. This quote not only was the best quote of the season, it perfectly sums up the 2017 season. Martin Truex Jr. completely dominating, winning 8 races, and some of the races with the 18 and the 78 completely dominating. I just thought to myself, nah, I'm not surprised he won. Congratulations, Martin. That's what I felt like in this playoffs. And sure, Martin Truex Jr. is a deserving champion, but I wish there would have been more parity in this season. So that's why, obviously, this quote is quote of the year. And it's by Kyle Busch. So if you guys think I'm against Kyle Busch, you have this to go back on. He won quote of the year. Congrats, Kyle Busch. And then we have dumbest quote of the year. And this is why Jeff Burton got on Moron of the Year. He said in 2 races that Clint Bowyer was having a better second half of the season than the first half of the season. Let's look at Clint Bowyer's season. So the first half, he has a decent first half. He runs probably in the top 5, top 10. He's consistent. He's got 7 top 10 finishes. He was in the mix to win a couple shots to win the race. And then, oh yeah, Indianapolis, the complete collapse of the team in the second half. Wrecks at Indianapolis, and then the rest of the season, you don't hear anything about him. Just lots of misfortunes and mediocre runs. A lot of the times he was like 20th, 30th, and he didn't do that good. Yet Jeff Burton, the minute Clint Bowyer climbs out of his car at Talladega, says, oh, you know, Clint Bowyer, he's improved a lot in the second half than the first half. No, it was more like fall off a cliff. Clint Bowyer had the shot to make the playoffs, but a whole circumstances, and easily he's out. So obviously, Jeff Burton, congratulations. You said possibly the dumbest statement I've ever heard. And yeah, NBC, you guys suck. Most overhyped moment of 2017, by NBC. And there were so many choices for this award. The appreciation tour. Yeah, we had to hear every 10 seconds, this is Dale Jr.'s last race at Daytona. Yeah, it's Dale Jr.'s last race at Bristol. Yeah, it's Dale Jr.'s last race at Homestead. Oh my gosh, nobody cares after a while. It just gets sickening. At this point, you want to see Dale Jr. fail. So then they can just shut up. Oh yeah, and then we have Martin Truex Jr., his dominance at 1.5 miles and stages. They showed that graphic like 10 times throughout the playoffs, and it was absolutely annoying. Oh yeah, Martin's one of the best drivers all time at 1.5 miles. Yeah, like any NASCAR fan didn't know that. Wow. I can't believe it. Martin Truex Jr. is good at 1.5 miles? I didn't know that at all. Oh my gosh. Really, NBC? Oh yeah, and then we have Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin at Martinsville. They hyped that so much in the last episode. Every time they're on, oh yeah, we're totally not going to create suspense or anything. But Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin had an incident a couple weeks ago at Martinsville. Totally like no one heard that at all. I mean, it's not like they got in an incident that was well heard around the world. And most NASCAR fans probably never heard of it. So, I mean, it was good for them. But anyways, the most overhyped moment, and this is on here because it was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. The Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski feud. Oh my gosh. Talk about the media hyping so much of something when really there's nothing on it. Oh, what? They had that incident in the Xfinity Series and at Watkins Glen. Wow. Yeah, they're bitter rivals just because of 2 random incidents in non-important races for those drivers. It's not like they were trying to win a championship. And then, they had the whole saga with Brad Keselowski complaining about Ford. And it got so much out of hand that the media at the end of the season was saying, oh, what are you going to get Brad Keselowski for Christmas, Kyle Busch? And, that whole thing escalated. It was absolutely ridiculous. I expected there to be some feud or Kyle Busch trying to kill Brad Keselowski or Brad Keselowski trying to kill Kyle Busch. But guess what happened in that time frame? Nothing. And this was also a highlight at the Homestead race. They weren't even near each other. So congratulations, NBC. You hyped so much out of nothing that I'm sick of it. This is something that Fox Sports knows is bad. But NBC likes to milk it out of stupid statements like this and just try to create drama. And it's absolutely embarrassing to this sport, making it a national joke. So to wrap it all up, 2017 was basically a year of some positives, but, there are a lot of annoying things like NBC overhyping stuff. Hey, it's Matt Kenseth and Dale Jr.'s last season, saying goodbye to 2 NASCAR icons. Watching Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch completely dominate the playoffs. It was that type of season. This is the type of season where you want to go back to good seasons like even 2016 or back to the days of like 2006 or 2009, stuff back to your childhood when, you enjoyed a lot about racing. There were a lot of times this season where I really got irritated. It's that bad. There were sometimes, especially the Texas race when Martin Truex Jr. was winning, I walked out. I was sick and tired of watching it. And I came back with like 10 laps to go to watch Kevin Harvick. The only times I've ever really stormed out of a race was whenever Jeff Gordon crashed and I was mad. That's basically the only times. But this time I walked out because Martin Truex Jr. completely dominated. That was just the type of season it was. It was a one, maybe Kyle Busch added in a 2-horse race this season, and it was just a very predictable season. I'm glad to see Martin Truex Jr. win after the whole season he put on because no one else was even close to winning a championship. And this is something I hope the Chevy Camaro brings. This is something I hope seeing, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, the emergence of them. They're going to be in their new car numbers, the number 9 and the number 12. And that's going to be interesting. We have, obviously, Eric Jones going to the 20. Maybe he'll do something, even though I don't really want him to do anything. You have new guys like Alex Bowman, William Byron, and Bubba Wallace coming up. There's a lot of potential to see more competitive racing. But I don't know. I think it's honestly going to take about a year. We're going to see Toyota and Chevy completely trade punches next season, and Ford's just going to be there. But I have hopes for 2019 that it could be a really good season. We're going to see a lot of young stars emerge in that time. And I'd say NASCAR, The one issue it has, obviously, the popularity is going to go way down. I just saw Dale Jr.'s thing on the Google year in review. That's probably the last time you'll see any NASCAR pop culture reference, at least for 10 years. Oh yeah, one more thing. 2017 was the year of NASCAR pop culture references. Obviously, Dale Jr. getting so much media attention. Cars 3 coming out. Logan Lucky coming out. Chances are this is the one season where NASCAR was the most marketable. And chances are this might be the last time it becomes marketable. Just because of how NASCAR has kind of declined over a bit. But I certainly hope these young guys can come up and yeah, so anyways, that wraps up the award show. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was better than NBC, and see you in Daytona.